It's not only happening in New Orleans. ICE has also been stepping up enforcement big time in Minneapolis, where members of the Somali refugee community are now accused, get this, of stealing hundreds of millions in Minnesota state funds through a massive fraud operation, unless, of course, you ask Minnesota's Attorney General. He doesn't seem the least bit concerned. Watch this. I want everyone listening to know we are very proud of our Somali community here in Minnesota. They've opened intensive businesses, they've introduced Minnesotans to sambusas and so much more. There's a whole kitchen of wonderful things. You know why the individuals who committed this fraud did it? To get rich. To buy houses and cars and things like that. Sean, while the state leadership seems to have zero interest in recovering a single dime, the federal government and ICE are very interested in getting criminal non-citizens off our streets, and they're having tremendous success in Minnesota. Arrests are stacking up fast: assault, fraud, robbery, domestic violence, human trafficking, you name it. And how does the left respond? By attacking Tom Homan, the guy working around the clock to keep the country safer and enforce our laws. Trust me, I know Tom personally. He's not someone you want to pick a fight with. Take a look. Maybe try controlling the border. 2,500. Racist. Crowd shouting, booing. Why don't you grow a backbone, put on a Kevlar vest, strap on a sidearm, and go secure the border yourself? Cheers and applause. Sean, breaking tonight, the Supreme Court has just agreed to take up whether President Trump can end birthright citizenship by executive order, which would remove one of the biggest magnets pulling people here illegally. Here with reaction, White House Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy and Homeland Security Advisor to the President, our friend Stephen Miller. Stephen, we both know Tom Homan. He is absolutely the wrong guy to come after. Stephen Miller, 100%, Sean. And that goes not just for Tom, but for every single hero at ICE and Border Patrol who put their lives on the line every day to protect this country and our way of life. Yet you have these far-left activists and open borders Democrats doing everything they can to obstruct ICE and Border Patrol from protecting American families and removing dangerous criminals from our communities. Sean, let's talk about this Somali fraud scandal exploding in Minnesota. One of the most alarming parts is where investigators believe some of that stolen money ultimately ended up. How big is this thing? Stephen Miller, what we've uncovered so far leads us to believe this is the largest welfare fraud theft of taxpayer money in American history, and we've only scratched the surface. Fake autism diagnoses, fake enrollments in food programs that never happened, shell companies, layered money laundering. It is fraud on a scale we have literally never seen before. The final dollar figure is going to dwarf what's been reported so far. We also have strong reason to believe elements of the state government were at minimum willfully blind, and in some cases possibly complicit. 75% of the Somali adult population in Minnesota is reportedly on some form of public assistance. That number itself is likely an undercount. Sean, Governor Walz was warned repeatedly by whistleblowers. The Attorney General downplayed it. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar has been extremely defensive as some of the names connected to people in her orbit keep surfacing. Do you believe this level of indifference, or worse, goes all the way up? Stephen Miller, Sean, when the full story comes out, it's going to shake Minnesota and national politics to the core. Whether it was deliberate blindness or something more, the evidence is going to show how certain Democrat politicians, bureaucracies, and activist networks looked the other way, or worse, while massive amounts of taxpayer money were siphoned off. This case is the perfect example of why President Trump has said we must end mass unchecked migration. It has been used by one political party as a tool to import dependent voting blocs at the direct expense of American citizens, their money, their services, their safety, their sovereignty. Sean, it should be simple. Anyone allowed to come here legally has to pass a background check, have no extremist ties, pass a health screening, and, above all, must not become a public charge. Stephen Miller, that's been federal law since the 1880s, Sean. Immigrants are not allowed to be a financial burden, and their sponsors have to sign a legally binding affidavit of support promising to repay 100% of any welfare used. That system has been completely ignored for years. The American people have been robbed, and this administration is going to make sure that ends and that those responsible are held fully accountable. Safe for YouTube, same intensity, Same talking points, just reordered phrasing and slightly softened where needed to stay within current community guidelines. Let me know if you want it punched up or toned further.